Hey, hello, so welcome. My name is Felipe from Professional Programming, and do you want to start now to learn about the Flask, a web framework to start your web development? But the first question that, of course, it should come to you is, what I should look for? What I need to know about to start this? And this is what I want to show you in a simple way. Yeah, because sometimes it's difficult because in the internet you see many posts, they show like advanced stuff, and basically they go think that you already know most of the things that are there, but they forget to teach you the basic stuff that you should learn. What I want to show you that the 5 most important things that you should know, and of course if you look for these subjects, I will not show in depth about these subjects, but if you search for this subject, you definitely gonna have all the knowledge that you need in order to masterize it. At least you will be able to do by yourself and evolve in even the release for production. So no problem at all. This is what I wanted to show you. And if don't forget, please subscribe to my channel. This will support me to continue doing this kind of videos and even more. And let's get started. So the first thing that definitely should know, you have to learn about when you want to develop with Flask, is about environment. Yes, the environment basically is when we are talking about your machine. But there's 2 ways that we can set up your environment. One is your machine itself, like all the computers, doesn't matter the brand or the OS that you use in a Mac, Linux, Windows. You need to have installed the Python version in your machine, of course. And this is what we call environment. It is where you are working on. Okay, so this is one environment. Another environment that we can have is the virtual environment. This virtual environment basically is another folder. It's just another place that you're gonna have a specific setup for that version of Python that you want to use to your project. And not only this, you'll be able to set up there too about like libraries, but will be specific only to that environment. This is very important, and the reason that why this is so important is because we're not gonna have just one environment that you're gonna work with. If you have like a production website, there most probably you have another version of the Python that you should use or have to use. If you work for a company, they will be using another version of the Python. So that's why it's so important. It's not a problem if you want to have everything just in your machine, but put in your mind that maybe you can have a problem. Imagine that you have one project that you use one specific version of the specific library, like Flask for instance. But when you move to another machine, you have a different version. You can have conflicts, you can have some problems. So that's what we want to avoid here. That's why I'm going to show you how to have like your environment that is in the machine itself and how to have your virtual environment. Let's do it. Okay, then, so let's get started. So the first environment that I'm going to show you, basically your machine. At the end of this talk about the environment itself, I'm going to show a little bit of diagram, what I mean to, because it's visual, I think that's easier, but okay, let's get started. So here I have my terminal. And in my terminal, basically, like if you go here, like it's just a folder, I have just a normal folder. If I want to see like which Python version I have, I just do like this and enter. Okay, so this is the version of the Python I have installed in my machine. You can have another one, doesn't matter. But this is only to show you that it is in my machine itself and not in the folder itself. If I do like this, I'm gonna talk a little bit about this later, but not talk now. So okay, you see that it just points to my user itself. So it's not a thing that is pointed to a specific folder. This is my machine. If I want to install anything here, it's okay. I can, like if I do like this, install Flask. Let's see it. Okay, it's just installing Flask. So what he's doing is just installing this framework, this library in my machine itself. So basically it's global available to my machine, to my user, to this session. Okay, so we just talk about how the machine environment, let's say like this. So let's talk about a little bit the virtual environment. There is more than one way that you can have this virtual environment for yourself. In Python 3, you have this already embedding. And actually what this does, he just creates like a specific folder that you're gonna name it. And when you go inside this folder, you can activate that environment. And what's gonna happen that from that moment on, inside that folder, will be point only to that version of the Python that you create that virtual environment. So when you create this folder, this virtual environment, and when you activate it, when you work inside the folder, any version of your project will be pointed to that version of Python. And this is very good because like I can install any version of Python I want, and it's completely closed. It's not it's not open to my machine, and it will be good for me because I have more control. Even the libraries that I install will be only available inside that environment. Okay, so let's show you the virtual environment itself. The first one I'm gonna talk is the one that comes with the Python 3. It's called VM, and the way that you can use this is like you did specify the version of the Python that you want to use, like Python 3 dash m VM. So basically I'm saying, hey, I want to create a virtual environment and the name of the virtual environment that I want to create. So Flask project. Hit enter. I'm gonna processing a little bit. Okay, done. So it already create my virtual environment. If you want to see, just to call a Flask project, let's go inside to see what we have inside there. And yeah, so he creates always these 3 folders and then 1 file. I will not dig into because not the objective of this video itself, will show you what exists and what you should use for. But one thing that you should have in mind is about the folder called bin. If you just go inside this folder, okay, so we have something called activated, and this is the one that you'll be able to activate your virtual environment. So let's just get back one. Let's activate this. As I'm inside here, I can do it like this. So bin activate, source bin activate. What I'm doing here, I'm just giving like a command to activate it to activate my virtual environment. Okay, so looks like I have my virtual environment activated. How did I know this? I can use the command pip. I'm gonna talk about this at the end of the video basically. So, but it's a command that you have to handle for now. Pip dash v, and now you can notice it. Remember before that I showed you in my machine itself that I did pip minus v. What happened? It was pointed to another place. If you see here, the whole path that I have here, it's pointing to my project, exactly where I am now, Flask project. So if you see, I have a specific virtual environment running here, and if I want to run something like it, to install something, what I need to do is pip install Flask. Done. If you see now, I have the Flask installed in my virtual environment. Okay, so we just talk about the virtual environment, the function, the helper that it come together with Python 3. Another one that usually is the one that I use most of the time. I will not tell about the difference, so I think that's good to know about these two. I would say that's the most important that you have, and it will be good for that you can look at this into the internet. It's called VR12 Env. This is a third-party tool that you need to install, so this doesn't come together with Python 3. I'm gonna show you how you can install this after, but for now let's just show this. So the command will be almost the same, but with a little bit difference. So I can specify, like I just say virtualenv minus p, because it's the version of the Python that I want. It's not mandatory, otherwise it's going to be the default. But I recommend you to do this, and I'm going to show here that actually I want to install another Python version. Let's see, like this. I think it's okay. And after, I just need to add the name of the folder that I want. So I already deleted the folder before. We can create the same name. Let's wait till creating virtual environment and the version of the Python. If you go inside the folder, remember that command that we did before that was pip minus v to understand to see which version we had before. Let me show you now one thing. Of course, now I just gonna point to the big version. So first, let's just activate it. The folders you see, that's almost the same. We have a .python showing the screen. Don't care that much about this. This actually you should never even commit this to our GitHub. Source bin activated. Okay, so now actually I have a virtual environment activated here. And if I do pip -v, like I said before, okay, so you see, like it points to the same place, basically, like in my folder. Okay, this shows that I'm really using a virtual environment. But look at here, the version of the Python I'm using is 2.7. Now you see the power that about what we can do with this, because with this I can have my complete closed environment of development. This is good because I can maintain all my libraries or my environment itself, but beside the virtual environment closed. Okay, this is it. Like how do I have my virtual environment itself? I only show you these two. There's other tools that do almost the same. I will not specify here, but I think that now you understand the base and why this is very good in order to develop it. One thing that I want to tell you, like the commands, they are the same to activate it, and to deactivate is the same. So when I'm inside here, the only thing that I need to do is call deactivated. Done. My virtual environment is deactivated. If I do this again, if you see 0.3.7, my machine. So you can see here that it points even to my machine environment, so it's not more in my virtual environment. Okay then, so the first one that we talk about is the environment that is your machine itself. I will try to demonstrate a little bit this, like here. Imagine like this as a box. It's that simple. And like I will call it here like PC. Okay, so this is one environment. Like if you see your folders, everything, the way that it's structured, doesn't matter which environment are you using, is basically the same. And here I can have my Python version, like you saw before. And in my machine, you see that was Python 3. And this is your machine environment itself. And when we are talking about the virtual environment, the thing, what we actually do is create small folders. So let's call this a virtual environment. Let's call this another virtual environment. And maybe I can have it here. Okay, so these are virtual environments. And inside these virtual environments, like that I teach you how that you can create, like virtual env or any other tool, you can set up with your own Python version. So we can have it here. We're gonna call this Python 2. The same here, we're gonna be like, I don't know, 2.7. And here we can have like 3.4, the Python version. And if you see, like we have our machine, you have like it's small folders that are virtual environments that I need to activate it, and if I want, I can deactivate it. And inside this, I can install many libraries that I want. So here I can install Flask if I want. Here maybe I don't need, but maybe I can use like SQL Alchemy. That's definitely gonna look a little bit more in any moment, because when you're talking about Flask, basically we use this library, this ORM library. And maybe here I don't want any library. It's just a place where you run some scripts, and I don't have any library, but it's okay. So you see how simple it is. This is basically what you do. And when you talk about the production, is exactly the same. Like production, they are just machines running, and they have like the environment machine, or have some specific virtual environments that you're gonna need to set up. Later on, I do intend to make some videos showing how to set up, like you have different places that you can do this. But for now, I guess this is enough for you to understand the concept of the environment and how that you can set up and have like micro virtual environments. Okay, so I hope you liked this video. Like I said, this is a series. I'm gonna have more 4 videos. So if you want, just take a look, go to the next video. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, thumbs up. This is gonna help me a lot. And see you next.